trying to like distill the theme that and it touches upon a lot of the other conversations we've been having.
Now wait, so you live your life, you're moving around, you have a brief moment in time when you can talk to infinite intelligence.
Hey, I talk to you
and
all
so
the time.
That's true, and that's enough, isn't it?
I'm here right now. I feel like the first time I came up, it was overwhelming, and Abraham could feel that. But now I just want to be present, because I feel like, wow, you know.
Focus in on something and let's have a good conversation.
Let's have a great conversation about this. What am I going to ask about again? There is that discussion we were having about the I and the I of who I am, and those two perspectives.
And your ability to let more of yourself in any moment for the realization of what you really want.
Right. And some of my questions are specific to what I'm experiencing right now. And I often have that communication and that connection to like, it's all fine, don't worry. It all is falling into place. But then I have these specific questions of like, okay, I know it's all falling into place eventually, but...
Well, we have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that, just as a general rule, that when you have a specific question, that you're in the best place of receiving an answer?
That impulse of not channeling the ideas, but that connection, when I get those answers from source, I feel that sometimes when I ask the question, I automatically get an answer. And it's like, you know, yeah, that's what it is. And it feels different than me going, oh, what does someone else think about this? What are the circumstances? You know, I can feel that connection and I can distinguish it. I think the past year and a half, 2 years, since my last coming on stage has been it's been life-changing, as it always is, constantly evolving, growing. And I had an experience that was shocking, and luckily, because of that kind of foundation I had, especially with the people that I surround myself with, this kind of collective, I was able to quickly understand that, oh, I know this looks like it's not very good, but it's all gonna make sense. And the thing that, from that experience, the only thing that now, even today, flying in here, I was thinking about it and it made me a bit sad, was like, oh, you know, I thought I was done going through these things.
Really? You think that you've lived all the contrast that you'll ever...
No, but it was...
You think all the expansion that you ever want to experience is finished?
No, but it was such a big thing, and I don't want to get into specifics of it because it's not important, but it was like one of those things, it's like, you never thought this would happen.
What we have to say to you, this is what your collection of experiences and your somewhat imprecise rambling here,
okay,
it's all right, is asking for. You're not ever going to get this done. And there are not big events that will lead to big questions, that will lead to big results, that will then be big sort of finishing places, because life is always going to be a continuous stream of things that are interesting, things that are fascinating, things that are heartwarming, things that are the foundation of more moving forward. You said something, and we want to amplify it, that it is always all right, but your perception of whether it's all right or not is sort of up to you. And since things are always all right, doesn't it seem like an opportunity for a real expanding or growth experience for you when you're seeing something in some moment in time as not all right, at the same time that your inner being is seeing it as way all right? And isn't the bringing together of those two perspectives what the satisfaction of life really is? So would it be accurate for us to say that every single time you're having a negative emotion, a negative experience, a big thing or a small thing, big thing as you say, isn't it accurate to say that every time you're having something like that, that emotion that you feel is speaking to your misunderstanding of what's really going on, that it is always a good thing, and it's always an expanding thing, and it's always a growth thing, and it's always therefore a wonderful thing? But the negative emotion that you feel when it happens means you're misunderstanding, and this is what you're misunderstanding. And you inasmuch said it with the words, and you're not the only one, almost everybody believes this, and it's what we're wanting to help you to get over. You believe that a negative experience means that you're doing something wrong, and that a negative experience means that you're off track, and a negative experience then therefore supports your basic belief in your own unworthiness, when in fact all a negative experience means is that you're standing in a new place, and you're trying to garner your new perspective, and you're trying to meld your perspective about this new experience with the perspective, with the seasoned perspective that your inner being has about exactly the same moment in time. Did that make a little bit of sense to you?
Yeah, and the experience that happened, most people would look at it and be like, oh, whatever, but you
in fact were doing that.
Because, yeah, this was a whole other thing last time. But I have such a deeper understanding of just
big picture,
people, of one of the things was, like, now, especially after this, I'm able to be present. Like, I feel right now like I'm here. And that was something that I didn't have, like, that was difficult for me before because I was so heady. And now I'm able to.
But here's the thing that we want to talk to you about, because we don't find you here as much as you think you're here.
But I like being here.
But stay with us, because this will be of great value to you.
Okay.
What we mean by here is in communication with broader point of view, and in this situation that's us, and what you keep wanting to do is play to the crowd. Now that's all right. The crowd, or the physicality that surrounds you all the time, keeps calling your attention to more of what is, more of what is, more of what is. Well, more of what is has already caused you to ask for way more. And your inner being knows what all of the ins and outs of the what more is about. And your inner being is enmeshed in the what more, has become the vibrational actualization of the what more, and knows where all paths of least resistance about where the what more is. And so all the answers are with your inner being, and yet most humans aren't listening for their inner being or focused with their inner being. They're more interested in the response of the physicality than they are the response, or your response to your inner being. Did you hear that? First time we've had this conversation in this way, and it is such a big conversation.
One thing I want to say is the tangible experiences I'm getting and my ability to focus on the physicality, I'm able to have that connection with Source, just wholly, more than ever. And it's kind of like I don't feel guilty about enjoying the splendors of our physical world.
Well, your inner being is doing that, but all we're suggesting is, here's the way it works for most people. Most people, or the way they want it to work, and it doesn't work that well. Most people want to focus upon the tangibles of the earth experience, and through something that they discover there, find some alignment. And that can be done because your inner being is focused there all the time. But hear the distinction between focusing upon the details of the tangible experience and finding something that pleases you. Feel the distinction. Or deliberately quieting your mind, deliberately tuning yourself to this higher frequency, and in combination with your inner being, then being guided to the precise, specific piece of human experience that answers something precisely that you've been looking for, that takes you to a unique new place that you've never been before, and puts you over the moon in the exposure to the new experience through these new eyes. Whoo, that's so big. And so it's like not trying to train your inner being to get you, but you instead aligning with your inner being so that together you get it all.
This is something that I had a conversation with someone very close to me about, and it was a sort of a habit I'm doing to get into the vortex, a physical thing I do. And then what I was trying to get to is, how can I just get there without needing to go through the motions?
Well, this is what we're speaking to. You're taking the long way in because you think it's about the physical, and the message that is powerfully dominant in this moment in time that we want you and others to hear is that you don't get into the vortex by doing anything. Humans have learned manipulation because you manipulate crowds, and you manipulate ideas, and you manipulate action, and you're action oriented, when we're wanting you to be the opposite of action oriented for a little while. We want you to leave the action oriented to those that don't know better, while you align with your true knowing and are therefore inspired to action. If you don't do that thing you do, you'll get into the vortex. If you don't do that thing you do, your vibration will rise, because that's who you naturally are. And so this conversation is a little bit about trying too hard, and it stems from, catering to isn't quite the right word. It stems from a misunderstanding of what your true perspective is. And the reason that most people have a misunderstanding of what their true perspective is because they let others train them to their perspective. The loudest crowd, that must be where I should turn my attention. Or the squeakiest wheel. Or the most dominant one, a dominant person in your life telling you.
No, you're right, because actually thinking about that,
but
it makes sense.
But you see, your inner being will guide you. But where does your inner being get the information with which it guides you? You gave it to it. You gave the information to your inner being when you lived that and asked for that, and when you lived that and asked for that, and when you lived that and asked for that. So all of your living of life and asking has put this answer in all of its layers and forms and opportunities in this vibrational atmosphere. And your inner being is that, doesn't just know it, is that, and is beaming this complete signal of wholeness, the wholeness that you have created. So now when you just ease up, when it doesn't matter what they think or what they think or what they think, it only matters that you let that and you be in one place, which means you don't try, you just relax. You don't pretend, you just be. You don't force it, you just allow it. You don't have to talk about it, you just be it. You just chill, 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 until you get into that place of non-thought. And when the chatter of the physical world ceases, then the volume of who you really are comes up, 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 and then there is an awareness of who you are, and that awareness feels to you like wholeness and goodness and clarity and expansion and stability and worthiness and rightness, and it's what every single thing you've been asking for is about. And there you are, you own it, you are it, you are oozing it, you are exuding it, it is your influence. And so everything then in your physical environment is influenced by this you, and only the things that match these feelings can come into your experience. And occasionally you'll lose that focus and you'll take another bounce, and all that has happened in that is that you've asked the question in a bigger way, so there are more answers for your surprise and delight around another corner and around another corner and around another corner and around another corner, because there is nothing serious going on. It's just you living happily ever after. It's just you living life and asking your inner being, remembering everything that you've asked, becoming it bit by bit, the wholeness of you becoming more and more and more, this non-physical body of you, and you allowing the non-physical body of you to be the dominant body of you as you then walk out into the world with the wholeness of who you are, seeing the world through the eyes of Source.